Do you wear fragrances when you are under the weather, when you're sick? I have just been under the weather for the last few weeks, and as you can probably tell by my voice, but I am like 95% better now. And I discovered 5 home truths about the relationship with my fragrances. They just weren't what they normally are. So I wanted to talk you through that tonight. You know, we're just going to be like sitting here in a cozy little setting. I'm home alone. It's raining outside. I hope that you can't hear the rain. But I am very proud of this fire that I lit and seems to be going and looking after itself nicely while I am playing with my fragrances. So thank you for joining me tonight. Here are the 5 things that I discovered in the last few weeks. So number 1, straight out the gate, I wasn't in the overspray mood. I am an oversprayer. I'm a big oversprayer. Are you an oversprayer? In the last few weeks, however, so basically I've caught a couple of viruses, just winter viruses. So I caught something for 3 weeks and then I was coming out of that and then I caught another one. I had the lurgy, you know, the mucus, the whole going. Honestly, I'm like feeling like nearly 100% better now. So I sprayed quite lightly, probably what I would call ladylike spraying, and I hope that's not an un-PC thing to say now. Hopefully because I'm a girl and I'm saying it, then it's okay, but you know what I mean. I avoided spraying around my neck. I sprayed a little bit more on my wrists, on my clothes, like on my sleeves, a bit more away from my nose. I just didn't want to get myself into a situation just with my nose being cloggy and then unclogging. I just didn't want the smell of my fragrance to come roaring back at me partway through the day and I'm at work when I wasn't so sick, or somewhere where I just couldn't manage that or wash some of it off if I needed, which sounds awful. I never wash my fragrance off. Well, not the ones I own anyway. And I'm at home and just don't want to like stink the whole house out. You know, I did enjoy smelling my fragrances and especially dipping into fragrances that I hadn't worn for quite some time. I've got 7 fragrances to talk to you about briefly tonight. And these are ones that, you know, I've enjoyed wearing over this time and just thought I would touch on them and share them with you. So the first one, they're in no particular order, is Orchid Vanille by Van Cleef and Arpels. And this is such a gorgeous vanilla fragrance, guys. This is sweet. This is chocolate powder, some orange. So good for this time of year. It's a reassuring fragrance. I wore this quite a lot during the pandemic, and when I do smell it, my daughter does tell me that I smell like lockdown. So yeah, is that a great thing, a great association? But she means it in a good way, and I've chosen not to read too much into that or overthink it too much or think that I smell like a pandemic every time I wear it, because obviously that is not what Orchid Vanille smells like. It's subtle and it's subdued, and the juice has just gotten darker and darker over time as it's macerated. Love the little hoofy little thing there. We'll talk about a second fragrance now, is Refacot by Paris Corner. And this is another vanilla fragrance. I want to say this is really, really unique, except for the baby cat factor. Baby cat must be unique if this does smell like baby cat. It's really resinous, it's woody. It's got a little bit of a burning rubber smell in a good way. And it's the spicy peppers, saffron, that just make it really, really warm and delicious. Amazing for this sort of weather too. So looking at the next home truth. It's a little bit dramatic, isn't it? Today I'm a bit of a drama queen. Home truths. Like most people just say, you know, these are the fragrances that I wore or didn't wear while I was feeling a bit sick. But I'm just like, here are some home truths. The home truths. There's 5 of them. All right, number 2, home truth number 2. I looked for comforting and cozy fragrances. You know how when you're sick and you don't have good dreams, you have nightmares, you have fever dreams. They are like the nightmares of your childhood, and they just all come roaring right back, and you just think, wow, okay, you know, I'm just a 7-year-old scared in my bed in the dark with a spider walking across a big tightrope across my room. Like that's probably my biggest imagery nightmare, like from being a child, and these sorts of dreams come back. The reason why I look for cozy and comforting fragrances is because during the day, my head was feeling stuffy. Was it because I was tired? Was it because I've been taking meds without maybe the food or the water, not drinking enough water, never drinking enough water, right, while you're sick? Another one that I wore a little bit of is Number 6 by Rosendo Mature, Jasmine, Sandalwood and Oriental Musk fragrance. And really just a pretty one that sits close to the skin, isn't hugely projecting. I didn't wear a lot of it because I feel like it's got a bit of synthetic sharpness to it as well. Just found it calming, just enjoyed the jasmine in there. Moving into a different direction now is a fragrance by Comme des Garçons. And if you are familiar with the Comme des Garçons range, they're all really unique fragrances. Obviously, this is a unique fragrance house, niche fragrance house. The cool thing is, these just lie down. They just do that. In the shop though, they have got like a little, I call it like a little armchair and a stand. They're in a stand. And the funny thing is, when I bought this, I never thought that I was getting a stand. I just always thought it was like just going to lie down. And the stand was to help display it in the shop because it's a shop. But quite a few people apparently think that when you buy this range that you are going to get the little stand, and you don't. So yeah, it is just really truly designed to just sit flat like that. So Amazing Green, what does Amazing Green smell like? And it is far, far away from Number 6. It is a green fragrance. It is vetiver. It's vegetal. It's not so much walking in a forest, in a deep, dark green forest, for example, after it's been raining. It's gunpowder, it's smoke, it's flint smelling. It is woody, but it's clean and masculine, and I really like it. It's intriguing. It's a little bit tasty as well. So when you smell it, honestly, do you know what? I didn't see very many good reviews about this on Fragrantica. So many people didn't like it, and which is a shame. But you get that, and that doesn't put me off at all. So one of the funny things I was remembering today when I was getting ready to make this video is that I wore this quite a lot when I was working at a pest control company. I was an operations manager working with a team of pest controllers, and I think at the time this just really suited like my whole kind of work setting. We could say that, yeah. Pest control, Amazing Green, Comme des Garçons. Yeah, I'm sure I'm not going to get any brand deals with them anytime soon. Beautiful fragrance, beautiful. I just love it. Amazing Green, Comme des Garçons. Right, the third home truth about my relationship with my fragrances. Well, I've been a little bit sick. So some days my nose was just really stuffed up and I couldn't smell anything, you know? I couldn't smell even my shower soap. I was just a little bit afraid of wearing fragrances and getting put off. I was mouth breathing. My mouth felt like dry cardboard. It tasted like dry cardboard. It smelled like dry cardboard, I'm sure. Just all the good things. Honestly, I don't even know if anyone's going to watch this video. I don't even know why I'm making a video about wearing fragrances when you're sick. I don't think it's the most trending topic on YouTube or in Google Trends. But, you know, but this is just real talk. This is real talk. It's a sad day, isn't it? When some pretty flowers, the smell of some pretty flowers just can't cheer you up because you just can't smell it. Just all the big blockage and the Which brings me to my next fragrance, which I so love. One of my earliest fragrances in my collection, and that is my beautiful Manifesto by YSL. And she is just a really delicious vanilla. She really smells like classy, sophisticated, grown up. This is a womanly smell. I've got really lovely memories of Manifesto when I was working at another job that I really, really loved, and I'd been there a long time, and I used to wear that quite a lot. It was one of the first fragrances I bought when I started my collection. Number 4 is I was really, really scared to wear fragrances and put a sick imprint on them when I had so many beautiful associations with these particular fragrances. So I made sure to pick around my collection and try some that I hadn't smelt for quite some time, and just to, see if they sort of like cut through some of that, the nasal stuff you've got going. The next fragrance that I want to talk to you about is, and it's discontinued. I won't talk about discontinued fragrances very much because I personally don't love that when people talk about discontinued fragrances. So we will just be touching very, very quickly on this one. So this is Coconut Fizz by Guerlain, and I don't know if you know this one. She is a watery, clean coconut water sort of fragrance. I really don't know why they discontinue this. I really, really don't. And I really hope that Clémence, I know this is one of Clémence's faves as well, I really hope that she just knows some people and she can, put the hard word onto them about keeping this going. Like, what do we need to do, guys? Like, sign a petition or something like that? Coconut water and bergamot are the top notes. Like, really? We could almost stop there. Freesia and water fruits are in the middle. Now, I looked up water fruits, and water fruits are any fruits that have got more than 80% water. And those fruits examples are apricot, you can tell I don't have my glasses on, blueberries, oranges, peaches, pineapples, pears, raspberries, you get the message. Freesia and water fruits are in the middle. Come on, look at that. What a gem. In the base is sandalwood and tonka bean. Okay, so can't say any more than that. I've saved my favorite niche fragrance of the moment to last, and we will talk about that in a moment. But home truth number 5 is that some days I just forgot to wear fragrance. I just didn't think about it. I obviously didn't feel like it before I got a little bit worse and I was still trying to push through at work. I thought I'd forgotten to wear fragrance. One particular day, actually, I planned to come home and put some on because I was just so gutted. And do you hate not wearing fragrance? Does that happen to you very much? Are you out somewhere and you'll have forgotten? Or are you just one of these super amazing organized people and you've got fragrance in every corner of your car and in a few pockets of your handbags and places like that, in your drawer at work, all of that? Sometimes I do get into that a little bit and I just try and clear out because I just feel like, oh no, that's why my bottles get all like loved up looking. Like if you can see this up close. Yeah, it's just a little bit like when I've tried taking photos for Instagram. Poor thing isn't very Instagram worthy because she just looks a little bit like I've like licked the bottle and slept on it and things like that. Probably all the things I have done. I don't like not wearing fragrance. And the reason why I don't like not wearing fragrance is because I have a few fragrances. I like to use them up. I love denting the bottles. I absolutely love that. I love to share my fragrances. If you were to come to my house, I'm happy for you to wear anything. I'm not precious about anything at all. So one day when I did plan to actually go home and put some fragrance on because I live close to work, I ended up by not doing that because what did I do instead that day? Probably ate my lunch. I was probably just being a greedy pig and decided to eat my lunch rather than smell good at work, which, hey, sounds good, right? But this last fragrance is one that I didn't wear. It is my favorite niche fragrance right now, and I didn't wear it because it is Another 13 by Le Labo, and the reason why I didn't wear it is because it smells quite thick. The environment that I'm in, for example, say at work, is a very stuffy, hot. People put the heaters on far too much. I didn't want it to get cloying because I was just feeling a little bit. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about Another 13, just in case you haven't smelled it. So Another 13 is an oriental woody. It is musky, ambery, a little bit animalic. Saw a very fun comment on Fragrantica, which I'll need to put my glasses on to read for you. I got the same vibes from Another 13 that you would get from the lobby of a niche 4-star hotel in a downtown metropolitan area. Why 4-star, friend, is what I'm asking you. Anyway, top notes are pear and apple and citruses. The middle notes are ambrette, moss and jasmine, and the base is ISO E Super. And basically, Another 13 is a fresh and confident fragrance, and it's very, very cocooning. So delicious. Really recommend that. And any of these ones that I talked about tonight, do you have any of those? What's your experience when you're sick with rain fragrances? I'd love to know. Leave me a note.